awesome. So, man,
All right, thanks for being here, guys. Question for our student athletes. We'll start with Justin.
This one's for both of you guys. Last year, you guys had a lot of creative looks at linebacker, like the Red Rover play and all that. What was it like just for you guys being a part of just a unique defense and just kind of being versatile?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Bringuel talks about it all the time. He lets us do whatever we want, just as long as like right on the ball snap, we can just be in position for our assignment. So I mean, it's definitely nice having that freedom just to go out there and just have fun.
I mean, it was fun, just trying different looks and things, getting 4 linebackers on the field because we all could do a lot of things. We were all versatile, like in a lot of ways, and so those different creative looks, it was fun, and it really confused a lot of offenses, even including ours. They always talk about it, like when we holding hands, doing stuff like that, and it was just fun for us, really, like just being in different spots. It was fun.
What do you guys remember about the first practice when you guys introduced the Red Rover scheme?
I think it was a practice in the stadium. I don't think Coach saw it on the field, but he saw it in the film room, and he was getting clowned on in the staff meeting, and he came back to us because he was like, I didn't tell you guys that, but it was just funny watching it on film.
Yeah. Like Tay said, we started doing it as a joke, like just the holding hands thing, and Coach G liked it, and we took it to the game. I think Cincinnati was the first game we used it, and it ended up working.
Michael?
So you get to a certain point in your careers where you're like the elder statesman on the team, right? Does the leadership aspect, does it just kind of come out naturally, or do you have to do your coaches tell you, hey, you guys need to step up in that area? Because I've noticed you both are very vocal and energetic about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like coaches talk about it all the day, but I feel like it's natural for both of us. Just come out there and bring juice every day. I feel like that's just the type of players we are, just to go out there and have juice and just have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, it's just the game we love.
Yeah, like Tay said, it's natural, but also, like you said, when you've been around a long time, the coaches push you to elevate, not just on the field, but off the field as well. So we do the best we can, just bringing the guys along, new guys, young guys, freshmen, even guys who have been here. So I feel like the more you've been in the program, obviously the more like comfort and trust you get among people if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so we just try to bring that juice and energy anytime we can.
One and then Justin.
For Chase, it kind of seems like you're in that Max Harris position type of leadership. What are your next steps for this year, and how do you plan to grow as a player, as a person?
I mean, Max was a great guy for that role last year, just how vocal he was. And so just seeing him kind of inspired me kind of just to step out my shell, because normally only time I do my talking is when I'm on the field. So I've kind of learned to grow off the field with that as well. So I just feel like right now this year, just really just trying to step into that role out of my comfort zone in a way and just try to lead the guys on and off the field the best I can.
Chiefs, what are your impressions of Everett Rousseau and how he's been able to fit into what you guys are doing?
And Everett's been really good, man. Like, I feel like the most impressive thing that's been about him is how he wants to learn off the field, because he's always in with meetings. We're always on the board together drawing up stuff. And so I feel like, and with him, it translates well on the field as well. He's physical, fast, twitchy. And I feel like with him, he's going to have a great role in the system. Just because he's a guy who really wants it, and you can tell on and off the field.
Michael?
So you don't tackle that much during practice, but it's obviously a huge point of emphasis. And you guys do all those drills with the pads out there on the second field. What do you get out of that? Those drills that you guys do?
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably hear Coach G talk about it all the time out there. He said we're not gonna really tackle bodies that much, but once we're tackling the bags and the pop-ups, that's the same we're gonna tackle people out there. So he wants to just really just get repetitions at that. We do a bunch of, he calls it launching. Just launching through the bag. A bunch of just drills like that. And then when we get to like an actual game, it just translated to actual body.
Yeah, like Tay said, like all those drills translate. Like the launching drills, the redirect screen drills, like all those translate. And so even though it's not an actual body, just going through the movements every day, like really training your body to just learn that way and do that every single day, like at a high intensity, it translates. And so when we do see a real body, like you saw a lot of last year, we all redlining to the ball's forming.
Do you imagine that it's a player when you're running toward the
I mean, most definitely. I mean, you definitely want to like get in your mind that it's a player, not just like just a pop up out there. You want to like actually like see yourself making a tackle, making a play. Because I mean, at first it may seem like silly or something, but like you really gotta trust the process because it actually works.
Yep, and visualization is the best thing we can do, and so just seeing that as a body, seeing it as a moving person, it definitely helps a lot.
Justin and then Juan.
With that, you guys were doing a lot of those drills during like pregame warm-ups. Do you feel like that was, that helped you guys over the course of the season to just tackle at a high level?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, it definitely helps us, start the game, get the pass popping a little bit. And that's the same drill we do in practice. So, I mean, just to translate it from practice to game day and then to an actual person out there, I feel like it helps.
Yeah, and doing that pregame just gets the body going, like gets the pass popping a little bit. We see like Coach Cecil, he always starts it off. So just seeing him lead off with that, his energy, like we ain't got no choice but to match that.
Juan.
For Tay, Danny Gonzalez said that you're the best linebacker in the Big 12. Do you believe that, and do you think you're ready for a breakout season?
I mean, for sure. I mean, of course, I have all the confidence in the world that I'm the best and the best to do it. So, I mean, just go out there, attack each day and just wait till the fall to prove it.
How does it feel to have that confidence with the coach to come out and say that with so much confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. I mean, he talks about it all the time that he's going to, say stuff like that, and we got to go out there and back him up. So, I mean, it's definitely great having a coach to back you up and just have that confidence in you. It definitely lets you go out there and play free and just, play the best of your abilities.
We'll finish up with Justin.
So Danny has mentioned to us, Tay, about he's tried to out-recruit you. He's tried to find a guy to come in and take your spot. But what has that been like for you, just hearing Danny say stuff like that, and why do you think you've been able to solidify yourself as a guy that can't be out-recruited?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that just goes back to like the relationship we have. He's just always trying to motivate me and push me to be my best and not let me get comfortable. So I mean, I feel like it started last year. Just the guys he brought in. It's just we brought in really good guys like Max Harris and Riley Wilson, and it really just pushed me to be my best every day. And then we brought in some new guys this year like Cooper and Everett that are really good as well. So I mean, it just pushes me to be my best, or I'm gonna get my spot took.
With Cooper, new guy for both of you. What do you like about his skill set?
Cooper, he's a bigger backer, but he's like Chase said about Trap. I mean Everett. He's big, he's fast, he's physical. He's not afraid of contact, and he's also he's a film junkie. So I mean, he's always in the film room, always on the board, always eager to learn. So yeah.
One thing about Coop's huge. Like Coop running full speed downhill at you. Like nobody wants to be in front of that really. He's very physical, like Tay said, wants to learn, and like I feel like Coop can do a lot of things for us. Like I just saw him run down the field, other practice with a receiver, and that was impressive. Coop's got a speed, twitchiness, like everything that we can use him, and he'll be great for us this year.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sticking around. Questions for our student athletes? We'll start with Justin.
Chase, nice to meet you. Welcome to Tucson. So can you tell us about the process from when you were signed to West Virginia and how you came to Arizona, and how do you like it so far here?
Yeah, I mean, so far loving it. It's a beautiful place to be. Yeah, I was originally signed with West Virginia, coming out of Pro Kick Australia. Some things went sideways with them, so Johnny from Pro Kick sorted me out. Got in contact with Coach Naivar, and one thing led to another. Had a conversation with Coach Naivar, and was lucky enough and fortunate enough to come here.
How did you get introduced to the sport of football?
Well, I grew up playing AFL back in Australia, which is our main sport in Australia. And it's literally just kicking a ball, that's all it is. So grew up playing that since I was a little boy, and one thing led to another. Ended up joining Pro Kick Australia. And I was there for about 11 months, training under Nathan Chapman. And yeah, punted well for a fair bit, and then got some film and ended up talking to some coaches, and one thing led to another, and I'm here.
For Michael, how would you assess your season last year as a place kicker?
Last year? It was up and downs. I mean, didn't make a lot, didn't miss a lot, just ups and downs, just learning from the downs and learning from the ups, so yeah.
So after that season, do you go back and do you watch all the kicks? Do you think about it a lot, or are you kind of like, I need to move forward? How do you kind of...
For a little bit I thought about it, but, accepted it for just the past, looking forward for a future now, so just leave it in the past.
Juan and Jason.
Coach Brandon never lost confidence in you even through the struggles last season. How does that feel when you're going through the season of ups and downs and your coach just never wavers?
It's a great feeling, bro. Yeah, great feeling, having a coach that's always there for you and just never lose doubt in you and always has faith in you. It's a big thing, I love it.
Jason.
For Michael, do you have goals in the offseason in terms of expanding range or like how does it, accuracy, things like that? Like how do you approach the offseason or camp in general?
So except what happened last season and just looking forward to like what I got to do and kind of like, I wouldn't say start from ground zero, but just kind of reassess my whole process and just work from the ground up from there.
Justin.
Chase, can you tell us about your dad and his upbringing playing Australian rules football?
Yeah, my old man was what you'd call a freak athlete when he was younger. He was very good from a young age playing football. He got drafted to Collingwood, didn't play any games, and then went to Melbourne Demons. Again, didn't play any games because he had my older brother Levi. And yeah, unfortunately he didn't get a crack in the AFL. He was in the team, but he came back to Perth and won 3 premierships for our Waffle side in East Perth, which was pretty high achievement for Australian standards.
The 11 months that you were with Pro Kick Australia, what were some of the things that you learned and what was that process like for you being a part of it?
It's a lot easier said than done, definitely. I thought I'd go in there, be a piece of cake, but you learn pretty quick that it's a completely different sport, it's a completely different lifestyle, and the way you kick it, everything about it, it's just, it is kicking at the end of the day, but there's a lot of technical aspects to it, so trying to learn the technique, the steps, the mold of the ball, all of that sort of thing, especially the hang time and distance. It's a big thing. And there was habits that I had to break from being an AFL player that I had to break away from, but in the end got away from it and started punting pretty well towards the end.
What were the habits?
Well, in football we bring the ball down to our foot, which is something you shouldn't really do. When it comes to punting, you should just keep it out there and let the ball do its thing. But yeah, that was probably the biggest sort of thing I had to break the mold for, was just leave it out there, let the ball come to the foot, don't bring it down, because it can definitely ruin a lot of things.
Michael.
One question for each. For Michael, when the guys crowd around you during practice, yelling at you, all that stuff, what does that do for you?
No, I just kind of block it off. Treat it as each kick is the same. So just seeing the guys around me, it's cool, but like I kind of just don't notice it. So it's just one kick at a time, same kick.
And for Chase, did you ever do anything close to holding?
No, not until I got to Pro Kick. That was definitely one of the biggest things as well that I had to learn, was the holding side of things. And again, a lot easier said than done. But just, yeah, got to get the reps in. Once you get the reps in, you get the confidence and then it starts flowing from there.
Have you learned like the value or just how important that operation is for a successful?
Yeah, absolutely. That can win a game. You know, and everything from the snap to the hold to the kick, everything's got to be precise. Everything's got to be perfect. And Mike does a great job sometimes when it isn't perfect, and he definitely makes up for it. But no, it's definitely something I had to learn and adjust to. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Juan and then Justin to finish it. Juan, Justin, and Michael to finish us out.
For Chase, two things that are said almost every day are red line and bear down brotherhood. Have you felt ingrained into those things?
Yeah, definitely. Just even seeing how some of the boys go about their day, how their work ethic, recovery, everything, it's on and off the field is what I've realised. And it's also a brotherhood. It's a really good culture here. The boys get around everyone. When someone's down, someone will pick you up. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'm getting used to and adjusting with, and I'm loving it so far. So yeah, it's good.
Justin and Michael.
Chase, have you introduced Australian culture to any of the guys on the team? And is there one thing about Australia that you really miss?
Yeah, honestly, the Tim Tams. Tim Tams is definitely the biggest thing that I miss from Australia so far. It's an absolute delicacy in Australia. It's a little biscuit, a little chocolate biscuit, best thing ever. But I'm currently organising a little day, get a little stand out and get all the Australian food there so everyone can try it and see what they like and don't like. So yeah.
And then Mike, last year, I think like the last week and a half, you guys didn't have a long snapper for spring ball.
Yeah.
How important is it to have all the pieces of the operation here in the spring and the months leading up to the season?
I think it's very important, just getting the reps and team like bond, operation, chemistry is a really big thing. So I think like now that we have it, it's been going well.
Finish up with Michael.
Last question is for you, Michael. Your position, place kicker, it's kind of easy to assess whether you're doing a good job. Like unlike a lot of other positions in football where you got to watch the film and see what happened, make or miss, right? There it's also easy to criticize if you don't make it. There's a lot of criticism when you don't make a field goal on social media, etc. How do you process and handle all of that?
Yeah, it is a make or miss business, but just try to treat every kick as the same. Don't make it more than what it is. Just treat it as the same. As a PAT, as a field goal, it's a straight line. That's how I try to keep it now.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys. Questions for Coach? We'll start with Justin.
Some of the tackling drills that you guys are doing over on the other field, and then the tackling drills that you guys did before games, right? It's not player-on-player tackling, but how do you think those drills can help the guys just get better at tackling?
Yeah, I think that it starts with the creativity of ways that you can simulate violence and train violence, because football is a violent game, and how can we train it, be creative ways so we're not 1,000 times a day crashing into one another, because we get plenty of good physical contact against the body, but shoot, you need as much as you can. So using bags, using different things to go full speed and accelerate through contact, it's finding creative ways to do that. So the bags have been a great one. Coach Cecil jumping in with some of those pregame, get the juices flowing as well, showing he still got it. But they're just a great tool that we can have to still train in that manner.
Jason?
Early impressions of Everett and Cooper.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job. So initially them coming in, and it's the adjustment period, right? It's new, different part of the country, different process, different team, get to know everybody. And they did a fantastic job this winter putting in the work, where seniors, older guys that have, already matured and developed a lot in the weight room, but still said, I can get more, I can develop more, I can get more flexible, I can get more mobile, I can get stronger, all these different things. So they earned a ton of respect in that regard. So then them stepping on the field, their maturity to come in, meet with me extra, make sure that they know what to do. Well, now it's just go play football. Go do the things you did at all these different schools across the country. Well, come do it here. Show that stuff on tape. So they've done a fantastic job. I'm really happy with how they've attacked the work. And has it been perfect? No. But they're always eager and, well, how do I do better? How do I improve that? And that's what I ask for the whole room. Guys like Tay and Chase to model it, that the red line effort, starting with that, will take you very far. And that's the culture of our program. So for those guys to learn our process, and for the leaders in the room and on the defense and on the team to establish that with all the new guys has been really fun. But both those guys have been really impressive with how they've integrated and how they've just attacked the work.
Michael and Justin?
It seems like Chase and Tay are more vocal out there during practice than they have been before. Do you think that is just something that happens naturally when you're an elder statesman on the team, or is that something that you kind of nudge them to do?
Yeah, I think that leadership's a funny thing, right? And in team dynamics, I've been a part of a lot of teams, and for them to step into a role of one, when you're naturally a good football player and you've made plays, you have a voice on the team. So those have had guys that have had some experience. They have some cred on the team that, hey, you're a good player. Well, now they've also earned that respect with how hard they've been working. Okay, so now when you tear those up with good players that are working their tails off, well, naturally the guys look to you as a role model. And for them to embrace that, to say, okay, I'm a role model, how am I going to choose to do that? And some of them are more, you'll see Chase more vocal one period, maybe Tay the other, and doing it different ways, because there's no one way to lead. You have to find your voice, just like there's no one way to coach. You have to coach the way you are. They have to lead the way they are. They have to be their individuals. But for them to really feel confident in themselves and then pull the guys along. Because I talk to them, if you are going to choose to use your voice, well, they can't find anything of you not being redline. And if they do, you have to be willing for them to call you out too, because modeling the way. So they've done a fantastic job of modeling it. They challenge each other, Chase and Tay do. And I've been really impressed by how much they've stepped into that role and taken it on. And it's exciting for them because they want that. They want that opportunity for them to lead the way, modeling the behavior and then pulling everybody along when it's not right and challenging each other.
Justin and Juan?
Danny has mentioned a couple times that he has tried everything in his power to out-recruit Tay Brown, and Tay has constantly answered the bell. Why do you think Tay has, just been a guy that has been just so consistent and has been a leader?
Because Tay is the ultimate display of process. One, Tay is a good football player and a good athlete. And as a good coach, you always want to out-recruit your players. Shoot, I want to out-recruit Tay, Chase, all the guys. Riley Wilson from last year, Max here. I want to out-recruit everybody. We have a fantastic freshman class. Well, the next class, I want to out-recruit them. So as a competitor, for us, we want to out-recruit everybody. But speaking to Tay in particular, I haven't been around somebody who is so diligent with day one notes. When I'm doing day one notes with the freshman, he's still there taking front row notes. And he knows this stuff. He's teaching the young guys, but he's still taking notes. How exactly did you say that, coach? How exactly, why'd you say it that way? So it's beyond not just what are we doing, but why are we doing that? Because his play speed, you'll see if you go watch the tape in slow-mo, the ball's being snapped and he's like mirror stepping with the guard on a pull. because he knows pre-snap with the different formation sets, backfield sets. So he's already playing the game. For him, learning our defense, cool, that's in the back of his head already because he spent so much time with his process. Okay, and then the athletic standpoint, he has been so diligent and deliberate with Coach Carroll and our staff on how do I improve myself in every way. And it's an ultimate display of him being willing to put in that work and to not just say, no, I'm good with where I'm at. It's, okay, I got you, Coach. How do I improve? How do I improve? So he's been really impressive, and that's another reason going back to how he has credibility with the guys is he takes everything on as a challenge. Cool. I'm just going to play faster than everybody. So it's been a lot of fun, and it's been awesome to work with him. So I'm excited for him to keep improving and keep accelerating the room and the team.
Dash would be the undersized linebacker, but was successful at a very high level in high school. Why do you think he is a good linebacker despite being undersized?
Yeah, he's. You know, I thought I was a decently smart player when I was a player, but I've never been around a guy when the first install, I drop one of our base defenses, draw it up, boom, we could move on, and I kind of refer back to it. Hey, teach me what I taught you earlier. He goes up and draws it perfectly. Perfectly. Better than some coaches when I've done that. I'm like, oh, this guy's impressive. So his background knowledge of football with his brother, with the family, like he understands football so well, and he plays with tremendous effort. I mean, when you talk about the tenacity on the field, and he knows he's undersized, so he better play full speed, and that's what you see out there. So it's been really fun to see him attack the work and not complain and go, well, I'm undersized, I can't. No, figure it out, find a way. So it's been really fun to see him step into that and attack it in that manner. But unbelievable knowledge of the game, which gives you that edge. Well, now it's let's play fast, and that's the hardest thing for freshmen to do because it's so different, the different environment. So for him to be able to display that early, it's been a lot of fun.
You kind of already talked about it, but for Chase Kennedy, he's kind of in that Max Harris leadership position. Do you think he's ready for a breakout season?
I do. I think that if Chase Kennedy has all the tools to be successful, he's, as a coach, when you look at out recruiting guys, well, you want a guy that's big, long, tall. Chase can run. Chase, like he has all the physical attributes, and he has the work ethic to back that up. You know, I mean, he's been consistently over 230 pounds, typically weighing at 235. So he's put on the weight and he's carrying it well. A lot of guys put on the weight early, then we start going to camp, other things, and they go, they fall into habits or whatever it is. They stop eating as much. He has been so diligent with his process and dialing that in with his sleep routine, waking up in the morning, having breakfast. He's been meeting with Coach Vitey in the corners room, talking about what the corners are doing. So when guys truly dive in, as much as you pour in, it gives you an opportunity to be great. Right? So we talk about this with all our guys. You work your tail off all off season. You do it all this time of year, and it just gives you a chance. So does Chase have an opportunity to do that? Heck yeah, just like everybody in the room. So he is giving himself the best opportunity to do that with all the decisions that he's making to, come in early and when the linebackers meeting done, go down to the safeties room and talk about what they're doing. So he understands how they fit behind him. Go down and talk to Coach Salavea and talk about how he's talking. The more you pour in, the better opportunity you have to accomplish the things you want to. So I'm super excited for him because he's made tremendous choices to lean in every way.
Michael and Justin for our last two.
So Myron Robinson really flashed in brief playing time opportunities last year, and then he gets injured. Now he's rehabbing. How challenging is it for someone like that to remain engaged, involved, and kind of have the right attitude about things?
Sure, it can be tremendously tough. You know, back in my day, I blew up my knee, ended up having 4 knee surgeries. So what's nice is, in a way, I can relate to him in a respect of how do you get injured but stay engaged with the team during a season, during an off season. So fortunately, unfortunately, I went through that. And what helps him is the guys in the room as well, not letting him pull away, right? Now, Myron hasn't even tried to pull away, but the guys in the meeting, Myron is at every single meeting that we have. You know, there's other places where, hey, well, the linebacker meetings going on, hey, you can go do treatment during that time. No, he finds other times to do treatment, so he's in all the meetings. So he's in all the extra time. He's still going up and meeting extra with Tay, meeting extra with Chase, meeting extra with the other guys. So because of our culture and what we've created, that no, when the linebackers do something, we do everything together. So I think that ties in with all the guys, and it is a challenge. There are days when you're in the recovery process where, it doesn't feel as good. Well, shoot, there's times where practice doesn't feel as good. Choose to still attack it. And I've been really happy with, I think it's a testament to our culture that we don't let those guys that maybe they're hurt and we don't let them go off to the fray. No, you're still in this. We're still in this all together. After practice, he's with the linebackers, right? We're still all together. Hey, there's extra time. Shoot, you can do some stuff, Myron. You can go hit a sled with your hands, all this stuff. So finding creative ways to do that, but he's taken ownership of it of himself to still stay engaged, come to meetings. He'll still meet with me extra shoot, he ain't getting any reps on out there in Bringuel, but shoot, he's getting extra reps with me. So it's been really impressive of him as an individual, but also the culture that we've created and are now defending as a program.
I think Tay was mentioning that when you guys first introduced the Red Rover play, that you got clowned on by the coaches. What do you remember about that and
Yes.
just implementing that unique package?
Yes. So there's a couple different stories about how the Red Rover package got created, but it got created as part of it was a nudge at me, right? It was about how we want to blitz and our blitz timing and our spacing between one another. So it became kind of an edge, like an inside joke within the backers. And I told them, though, when you go into the game, I go, if you do this stuff, you're going to have one of two things happen. You're going to end up on ESPN top 10 or ESPN not top 10. Those are the only two things that are going to happen. Because they get a big play and you're holding hands before, you're going to be clowned on, not top 10, look what we're doing. They went out there, and if you watch how hard Chase Kennedy and the guys rushed on that play, was fantastic. They got shot out of a cannon. Jabari, great job, undercuts the route, pick 6. So I'll tell you what, if it takes them, nudging me and poking me to have them playing that dang fast, they can do that every dang play. So that's part of the fun of football, right? Finding the creative ways to do creative things to still attack offenses, right? But also, shoot, you should have fun yourself. And because football is a passionate game, and when you can get the young men that we have playing to themselves with a great passion and energy, playing the game that they love, you can do some really cool things. So they're lucky it worked out because I told them, you're going to be on ESPN top 10 or not top 10. So they did. It was a fun time, and shoot, worked out a little bit. Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, we'll start with Justin and then Michael for questions for Coach.
So you're no stranger to recruiting Australian punters. Another one is Chase Ridley. What are your early impressions of Chase so far?
Chase is attacked some milestones in his short career that's been pretty impressive. He's 22 years old, but he's a freshman. He's never worn a helmet, never worn shoulder pads, never been around anybody. So I want to say it's the first Saturday of spring ball, we got a Lubbock scenario. There's about a 30-mile-an-hour gust, 35-mile-an-hour gust. We've got to practice in it, obviously, because we don't get a whole lot of it. He goes out there, and it's okay. This is the first time he's going to punt in front of a full group, full cover, the whole 9 yards, and he ends up smoking the ball. So he has met the milestones of adapting to American football, playing with the group, all that stuff like that, a lot faster than some have.
And then the connection with Pro Kick Australia, how did that first get started, and how do you think that pipeline has influenced Australia and also just football in general?
I can speak on my behalf. The first connection with it was when we were at the University of Houston. We had a young man that we brought in through Pro Kick, and then when we got to Texas, Mike Dixon was already there, and then we signed Mike Dixon's cousin, Ryan Bishevsky, has kind of moved from there. But again, I say this, there's an entire continent with kids that kick the ball. That's the primary thing they do. They train like linebackers, but in Australian rules, they're kicking the ball from a lot of different platforms. So not just the spiral punting, but the rollout punting and all those things like that lend to that. Not to say that there's not bad American punters either, but there's just a pool of bodies there.
What advice, if any, do you give to someone like Michael Salgado Medina when there's a lot of criticism of his performance in social media or standard media or whatever?
Sure.
How should he handle that?
I always say that you turn down the outside noise and amp up the inside noise. The confidence from your teammates, the confidence from your coaches, the confidence within yourself. Because it can go both ways too. If he goes and hits 9 in a row and listens to the outside noise of how good he is, that can also affect what he does. So turning down the outside noise, turning up the inside noise, and going back to the process. Yes, we are an outcome-based business, but the process determines the outcome. Dive into the process, and the outcome will take care of itself.
So, the long snappers, how important is it to have those guys here in the spring and just kind of have that operation?
Sure.
Considering that wasn't a thing last year. I
I think it's been amazing that we've had, I shouldn't say amazing is the word, but it's been really good that 5 of the 6 guys within our unit are here right now. They've been here we're in workouts, they're going through spring ball. We're bringing a freshman kicker in from Texas that'll be here when he graduates here in a little bit. But having those guys here to have a runway to build the trust, the continuity, the reps, and all those things, and not just trying to build that in the middle of training camp, start training camp, I think is huge. And then just that the reps on top of reps on top of reps, and working not to try to build it all at once, but fundamentally, okay, today we're worried about a plant foot. Today we're about a drop. Today we're just working on basic things rather than trying to do a bunch of stuff in a short amount of time.
was going to say, what were the challenges last year of having to, figure out that chemistry as you guys are, going into the season?
Well, it was, if you took the analogy of cooking, which I love to do, slow cooked brisket that goes for 18 hours at 225 is a hell of a lot better than one's in a microwave for 4 minutes. So having the time to prepare it and get it right makes it taste a hell of a lot better.
Jason and Michael?
A lot of times with special teams, it's a good way for the younger players to kind of get their names out there and all that. Has there been any of the younger guys or less experienced guys that have caught your eye in some of those roles?
Yeah, we've got a lot of the freshmen are here early, so they got a chance to jump in there and do those things, and transfer guys as well, because you look at it, there's the freshmen and transfers, they're all new to us within that role. So Gio was a young man that was a little bit on teams, but he's jumped up as a leader. He's doing really good things on teams. Rodney Gallagher is here as a receiver, but doing some really good things right there. Hannibal Navies is a young man that's a true freshman that's showed up and done some really good things there. So as we're evolving and getting through practice, it's not just what are they doing on teams, but what are the value they're bringing to the offense or defense that lends to how much they'll play on special teams based on will they travel or not.
Michael Salgado Medina said it's a make or miss type of business that he is in. But that being said, do you think the criticism that he received last year was unfair on any level, considering his lack of experience and maybe some issues with the operation?
Well, it all comes down to the kicker gets the good or bad based on the make or the miss. But it's a process. It's the snap, the hold, the kick, and everything with that. And I feel a lot better with the time we have to build the ramp up to get that to where it needs to be for the season. It's already better than it was, hence Mike's performance that you guys have kind of seen in practice. You got to quit shortening his distances. You got to quit shortening his distances. Yeah. On the practice field, those posts are 7 yards behind the end zone. So when you put his numbers down, you got to add 7. Don't cut him short, bro. But yes, the entire process leads to the result. And I can't say enough, having 5 of those 6 guys here is a really good deal.
We've heard Rodney Gallagher is very similar to Luke Weissong. What's your assessment of Rodney in the special team space?
He's tough. He'll stick his face in the fan. He will give tremendous effort, and he wants to. And he understands he's an older player. So he understands if I want to do this for a living, this is something I have to excel at. And that's the part of teaching the freshmen the understanding of, hey, we're going to travel 74. In the NFL, it's 53. In the NFL, the final 3 or 4 slots on that 53 man come down to your ability to play on teams. He understands he's an older player. So that's been a big piece of it.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, thank you, everybody.
Outstanding. Utah Mammoth.